The Arctic has raw power. Everything is so big here and untouched. People are longing for that, like, what's my great adventure? For a lot of people, it's going north.
We have a special connection to the land, to the animals, to the environment. And so I think it comes natural for us to be tour guides and to really showcase the wonders of the wilderness and Mother Nature.
The odd time I've seen the Northern Lights where they basically just covered the whole sky. Yeah, you get them really bouncing around. It's pretty spectacular. It almost looks like they're coming close enough so you can touch them.
There is people that still hunt buffalo. There is people that still depend on caribou meat to live. They depend on fish to live. A lot of people don't know that.
Our snow drifts run from west to east, and we use that for a landmark, because here you don't have a landmark. When you're out, everything looks the same. So if you know a little bit of navigating, you should be able to find your way home.
Wata wiki alata da wiki gukungula wiki na te wiki dunga hata ze itong wiki tinta di hintola itong tana kigawa ta tong eki wiki na hote te yizun ta hong dunga da wa dina da di wone te tutong.
My name's Don Morin. Myself and my wife, we started Aurora Village. The second year we were operating, the Aurora was out and it was just beautiful. The Aurora was just dancing in the sky. So I walked out of the teepee door and there was a lady standing there. And I started talking to her and I said, like the Aurora, the way we've been taught is that Aurora is our ancestors, our brothers, our fathers, our grandfathers that have passed away. They're so happy they're up there dancing in the sky. That's what the Aurora is. And she said, do you think that's only for your people? Or is that for all people? I said, and once you're in the spirit world, you know no color. Of course it's for all people. And then the lady just started crying. And then she says, thank you. She had lost her husband 5 years earlier, and she thanked me because she let him go then.
My connection is pretty deep to this place. My family's been here for generations and generations. I really do feel privileged to be part of a culture that's so rich. It's this land, it's the animals, it's the people, it's the sense of community. The world needs to see this way of life, just how beautiful it is. And so I decided when I was 16 that I wanted to do something in that capacity, and that formed into a tourism company. I'm Kyle Kassoon Taylor. I'm from Inuvik, Northwest Territories. I run a company called Tundra North Tours, an indigenously owned and operated tourism company. We connect people to the culture, the untouched wilderness, and reconnect people to the environment here. That's our main focus. I take a lot of pride in doing my homework and really studying as much as I can and talking to the elders and making sure that what I'm portraying on my tours is authentic in the way that they want to share it.
And we use the native tan moose hide because it breathes.
I would be a really lost person if I never moved north and never found this lifestyle. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what makes me the happiest. I love what I do. I love it without swearing, I love what I do. I think this is the coolest job ever. I mean, there's days when I work 18 hours and people say, like, aren't you tired? I said, no, man, I'm not tired. like I'm doing what I love.
There's two different types of flying. One is bush flying and the other is airline. Airline is really regimented, and you go here and you go there and you have to follow a strict set of rules. Well, when I'm flying out in the mountains, I follow my own rules. My name is Ted Grant. I've been in the Northwest Territories now for just over 40 years, and I've been flying for 44 years total. Being a bush pilot, you have to know a little bit about everything. Mechanics, you got to have good judgment. Good eyesight helps. You got to know where to land, not to land out in the mountains in different places. If you're ever stuck for a few days, you got to know how to survive, how to build a shelter. It's always an adventure flying out there. That's sort of my getaway. Jump in the airplane, take some people on a tour. You're away from the telephones, you're away from the internet, and it's relaxing. When United Nations under UNESCO started naming different places in the world, Nahanni was number one, the first World Heritage Site. The park is about the same size as the country of Belgium. Yesterday on the flight we saw between 45 and 50 mountain caribou and probably about a dozen moose and a couple of wolves. Most of the northern lights are fairly steady, but then every once in a while you get the ones that are dancing and moving all over the sky, and those are special to watch, even for an old bush pilot like me. Well, I want to keep flying because someday I want to canoe the river myself. I've never canoed the river at all. Someday I want to set aside some time so that I can canoe the river and see what it's like.
There is land and the stories that are stored in a landscape. The beading signifies the landscape, and the landscape is interwoven with the hides of the animals from the landscape. And when you put it on, you can feel and carry those stories with you. So it fills a void within you from your own ancestry and makes a person whole. Because it's very hard to pretend to be somebody else to fit in. And it's no use doing that because you never learn to live, or you never learn to be who you are.
My name is muskoxen, and I run Muskoxen Mushing Tours. I'm with Michelle, and we started a tour company to try to make some money to feed the dogs because I love dog mushing. We started off like that.
What I saw was Bruce's vision of what he wanted, and the more dogs we got, the more expensive it got. So we talked about, well, you know, with the tour company, we could show people what we do, and at the same time, we could feed the dogs.
Basically, you have the really smart, fast ones in the front, and you have the really big, strong ones in the back because they're the ones who's doing the pulling, and the ones that are really smart are in the front because they're the ones that learn how to lead the team.
Well, the pingos, they grow from the permafrost up. The permafrost ice builds up, and usually there's a lake around it, and it'll absorb all that water out of the lake, and then it'll get pushed up with the land and it'll grow. It's supposed to grow 3 inches a year. And so if that pingo is that big, just imagine how old it is.
I'm going to school right now in Whitehorse. I'm in business admin, and I want to eventually run the company when my dad can, when he gets too old.
When people come into our home, we feed them, we make sure they're full, and they could go on their way. We're very unique people, and we make sure you're full when you leave.
We are Canada's original tour guides. When the non-Indigenous came over here in the 1400s, 1500s, welcome to our land. Things didn't work out as we planned, but we were always hospitable. I am Joe Bailey, and I'm the president and CEO and founder of North Star Adventures, a 100% Indigenous-owned outdoor adventure tour company based here in the Yellowknife Northwest Territories. People need to come to Northwest Territories to see pristine wilderness, vibrant Indigenous cultures, 24-hour daylight. In June, bring your sunblock and your sunglasses. Amazing Aurora Borealis in summertime. We've always said the warmer the weather, the better the Aurora. You can come here in August when it's plus 20 degrees and watch the Aurora reflecting off the water. We have Virginia Falls in the world famous Nahanni National Park, twice as high as Niagara Falls. And the mighty MacKenzie River, the longest river in Canada, the second longest river in North America, and one of the top 15 rivers in the world. Nose Lake, I think, can get 20 kilometers across. 20 kilometers across! This is a river. I'm getting ready to do a canoe tour on the MacKenzie, and I'm getting paid for that. It's providing for me and my family. But at the same time, introducing our culture and our Northwest Territories to the world. So, I'm very lucky.
Dung tili ti tlinchunta disi dung dieton tlinchunta tili si go kwepa dung hani nageti dikun matade go hidu tili si go tionta go si go gedu inedani go tin fight dung hani go di amhe nadi Kunti esta gidi da hani ta dun klekya lagi de. Han go wo de chat tunde ni de wo ke ta zan de di dun ya ze se ko ani si. Gugu na wo go ge la da go ge la da ki ke ho da ge twang wo ga go ni na sunin de.
The teaching is about it's okay to be who you are. And you were already strong before this thing happened. You had the ability to pass it on to future generations. And if there's any other challenges from the outside, you're standing together to put your best foot forward to meet those challenges so that those developments don't destroy you, but make you stronger.